Are you ready for a global war? World leaders are gearing up for the big one, World War III. A single action could reshape the very face of our world. That action could lead to conflict, and that conflict could result in the mother of all conflicts, World War III. Historically, the media has painted the very ideology of another global war as conspiracy, but now it seems that even they agree World War III is on the horizon. Several occurrences recently have pointed to the very reality that rather soon America could be faced with yet another war. World War III, according to ValueWalk, has appeared recently in the media far too frequently. Below are the latest occurrences. Former UK Prime Minister David Cameron warned that Brexit could destroy the European Union and unleash a new war. European Council President Donald Tusk warned that Brexit threatens Western political civilization. The last leader of the Soviet Union, Mikhail Gorbachev, said on Monday that it all looks as if the world is preparing for World War III. U.S. President Donald Trump accused Republicans John McCain and Lindsey Graham on Sunday of trying to spark World War III. Trump's chief strategist, Steve Bannon, who was recently given a seat on the National Security Council of the U.S., believes there is already a major war brewing, a war that's already global. We have previously discussed the prospect of a global war, given the reality that our world just went multipolar. Now, of course, we've gone over the multipolar stuff many times. If you want to learn more about it, just click on the post. Obviously, you can't click on the screen. I'll leave the link in the description box. Previously also discussed is an intelligence document which details that since as early as 2008, the intelligence agencies were all well aware of the world's increasing multipolarity. A report by Global Trends states that by 2025, we would have a transformed world. Here's that report here. If you want to read it, I suggest you do, because of course, this one is appearing to be spot on. Which brings us to 2017. Right now, alliances are shifting. You want to know what's going on? Alliances are shifting. But I will tell you what. It is all a plan, and it is all an agenda. And the same thing was written by Albert Pike in 1871. The same exact agenda is being played out today. And it includes Donald Trump, it includes Steve Bannon, it includes America, and it includes, well, the world. Which brings us to 2017. Right now, alliances are shifting, trade is changing, and power is transforming. Iran is set to no longer accept the dollar as the currency for oil payments starting this spring. Japan is joining Germany in condemnation of the United States, and a whole host of other shifts are ongoing throughout the world. That's not even scratching the surface on what's actually going on. Given the rise in multipolarity, it is evident that the world is increasingly facing the risk of sliding into World War III. However, also given the reality that the Kabbalists have propagated a plan to bring about this global war, we can see exactly where it will begin and even why. According to the infamous Albert Pike, listen, I need you to listen and pay very close attention to this, because this will explain to a lot of people why Donald Trump is a part of the agenda, okay? There's this division and divide and two-side stuff. That's not a victory. That's a defeat, okay? Listen very carefully. The Third World War must be fomented by taking advantage of the differences caused by the agentur of the Illuminati between the political Zionists and the leaders of the Islamic world. What is going on today? I mean, that sentence right there says most of it. The war must be conducted in such a way that Islam, the Arabic world, and political Zionism, the state of Israel, mutually destroy each other. Meanwhile, the other nations, once more divided on this issue, will be constrained to fight to the point of complete physical, moral, spiritual, and economical exhaustion. We shall unleash the nihilists and the atheists, and we shall provoke a formidable social cataclysm, which in all its horror will show clearly to the nations the effect of absolute atheism, origin of savagery, and of the most bloody turmoil. Then everywhere the citizens obliged to defend themselves against the world minority of revolutionaries. What is going on today? will exterminate those destroyers of civilization, and the multitude, disillusioned with Christianity, whose deistic spirits will from that moment be without compass or direction, anxious for an ideal, but without knowing where to render its adoration, will receive the true light. Of course, this is the false light. This is what the Bible, it's incredible how much the Bible is displaying to all of us. We just have to pay attention and read it, of course. And that's how we can understand what's going on in these days. That's why this letter makes sense. Literally. This is the false light, will be the universal manifestation of the pure doctrine of Lucifer, brought finally out in the public view. This manifestation will result from the general reactionary movement which will follow the destruction of Christianity and atheism, both conquered and exterminated at the same time. Now, of course, what does the Word of God say? Have you read the back of the book? If you've read the back of the book, then you know the ending. And that's not how it ends. But that's their agenda, okay? Within this first sentence here, we can see so much of what they're actually planning. Fast forward to Steve Bannon. This was, of course, written on August 15th, 1871. And it was initially exposed by one of the first modern truthers, William Guy Carr. If you've ever heard of him, I suggest you look him up. You won't find any videos of him because, well, we're talking about 1958. And this was posted in William Guy Carr's book, Pawns in the Game, which was written on October 13th, 1958. Albert Pike detailed the letter, and to this day, 2 of the 3 global wars have already taken place, and they were spot on. They were spot on. And both followed the Pike agenda to a T. What this means is that to bring about their new world order, the world must face another world war. And it is one in which we can see brewing today. According to chief strategist Steve Bannon, the most dangerous political operative in America. It was many, many years and decades of peace, and I believe we've come partly off track in the years since the fall of the Soviet Union. And we're starting now in the 21st century, which I believe strongly is a crisis, both of our church, a crisis of our faith, a crisis of the West, a crisis of capitalism. And we're at the very beginning stages of a very brutal and bloody conflict, of which, if the people in this room, the people in the church, do not bind together and really form what I feel is an aspect of the church militant to really be able to not just stand with our beliefs, but to fight for our beliefs against this new barbarity that's starting, that will completely eradicate everything that we've been bequeathed over the last 2,000 or 2,500 years, we're in an outright war against jihadist Islamic fascism. And this war is, I think, metastasizing far quicker than governments can handle it. Bannon later stated, global war, and it's unfortunately something that we're going to have to face, and we're going to have to face it very quickly. There is a major war brewing, a war that's already global. It's going global in scale, and today's technology, today's media, today's access to weapons of mass destruction is going to lead to a global conflict that I believe has to be confronted today. Every day that we refuse to look at this as what it is, and the scale of it, and really the viciousness of it, will be a day where will be a day where you will rue that we didn't act. Obviously, one side was virtually entirely set up by the Obama administration, by Bush, and by Bill Clinton. One whole side of this was set up. Now we're seeing the flip-flop, the other side of it, all get set up. You can't deny it. For those of you who don't see it, Obama basically gave rise to this barbaric disease of jihadism. And now, as I've said many times, we've entered this multipolar world. Okay? And if we base this off of Albert Pike's letter, it is playing out to a T. You cannot get caught up in the agentures of the Illuminati, because they're playing. It's all strategy. And of course, if we bring the multipolar world order into it, we can actually see where the alliances are shifting throughout this Third World War prediction. We can actually see within this paragraph here how they plan to shift alliances. Guess what, folks? That's called the multipolar world order. Are you awake? Are you paying attention to this? This is huge. That's all I got for you. God bless and carry on.